Well, ladies and gentlemen, here I am making a video I thought I would never make. I actually convinced myself almost not to do it today, but that mischievous counterpart inside my body just thought, Jace, you gotta make it. So here I am. Now, what am I talking about? Well, this gentleman right here called Papa Esidu. Who? Exactly. I have no idea who this British Shakespearean actor is.
My name's Papa Esidu, and I'm an actor.
But if I told you, Papa, this gentleman right here, is your new Severus Snape for an HBO Harry Potter series, you would probably think it's April Fool's come early. No, it's not. It's actually true.
Let me introduce my assistant, Professor Snape.
And I have a different point of view about this. It's pretty much on the same rhetoric that I always talk about here on my channel. But honestly, Warner Brothers are behind this show. J.K. Rowling, who I still think is quite the MILF, if you get my drift. I do like looking at her glamorous photographs where she attends a premiere in a plunging V-neck, and I just stare there goggly-eyed, because that's what biological women on International Who Gives a Fuck Day actually do, right? I know, completely sexist attitude I have here, because I come from an old school era where it was actually fine to talk like that. Even up to the, oh my god, to the 2000s you could begin your conversation with something quite unflattering about a female you bumped into in a nightclub last night. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get on with this video today, because quite honestly, this is going to be one of the funniest stories I have covered this week.
Protectium Invisibus! Are you concentrating on the spell? It doesn't seem to be working.
You know what old Jack Burton always says at a time like this?
Who?
Jack Burton. Me.
They hunted him down. They murdered his friends. And they took the only thing he would kill for.
You know this guy?
Yeah, but I'm not proud of it.
If it's a mission no man can survive, he's the man for the job.
Kung Fu Hot Dog.
Fuck you, asshole.
So watch out for him and his babes of the 1980s. Hail to the Jason King, baby.
It's all in the reflexes.
Oh, I've got an incoming message on Instagram. I wonder what this could be. Let's have a look. Oh my goodness me. Well, lovely to meet you, Sophia, and your friends. Well, anyway, let's get back to the main article today, folks, before I get further distracted for so many obvious reasons. But Harry Potter gets darker because they've cast Papa Esidu as Severus Snape.
Because you're black.
I know, terrible. Why would I actually go on record and behave this way? Am I to be confused with Johnny Somali? No, I'm just having a bit of a pissed off day at home today, so whenever that anger is thrust upon me by somebody else, I vehemently thrust it on the audience out there who came to watch this video today. So, it's the closing of a deal, it seems, and I can't imagine why Warner Brothers thinks this is a good thing going forward. I mean, the only person that's actually confirmed as being head of the cast is John Lithgow, fine actor that he is, and probably wants to do this for his kids, or maybe for his own inner child, who knows? So again, we had this story that ran probably a few months ago, and people thought, oh come on, they're seriously not considering Papa Esidu as Severus Snape, as portrayed by the great Alan Rickman. Well, guess what? All bets are off. So if you went to William Hill or Paddy Power and put a bet down about this guy becoming Severus Snape, well, you're in the money, mate. You certainly are. And this is reported from Deadline. And again, Severus Snape is one of the most vividly outlined characters in Harry Potter's lore. Describes him across multiple books as a pale-skinned man with long, greasy black hair and a hawked nose. Sounds like my friend Words of Paradise, and he will get that joke, as will you. In the 6th book, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, Rowling specifically refers to Snape's pigmentation. Now, what I find quite funny about this is that apparently a lot of Harry Potter fans are very upset about this casting. Or should that be half casting? I know, I'm terrible again. It's awful. How can I say this? Being a man of color myself, well, I can apparently. Warner Brothers Discovery's latest casting choice is being framed as a move to being more inclusive. Really, are you serious? So if I watched these St. Trinian's films back in the day with a predominantly white cast, does that exclude me or does it include me? Okay, you might want to think about that. An agenda that has been creeping into the franchise ever since the stage play Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, where you had a black Hermione Granger. I remember that. That was really funny. While Harry Potter was a uniquely British cultural phenomenon grounded in Rowling's storytelling, this new interpretation appears determined to reshape it to fit ideological narratives rather than respect its origins. A faithful adaptation already breaking canon, and that's Mr. Esidu here in the Royal Shakespeare production of Hamlet, where on the Graham Norton show, in the clip I showed you at the beginning, he talked about breaking wind during his death scene, which might be funny many years ago, but not so much now. According to the controversy, HBO has nearly finalized its casting for Professor Minerva McGonagall with veteran actress Janet McTeer. Yep, if you hadn't seen Ozark, she gets wonderfully blown away off the screen by Isai Morales. It's a pretty grim death when you see it. It's like a blink of an eye and oh my god, that really happened? Holy shit. While McTeer aligns more closely with the McGonagall audiences recognize from both the books and Maggie Smith's iconic film portrayal, the shifting casting approaches between different characters raises further questions about HBO's overall vision for the series. Now look, I find this absolutely hysterical because I'm going to bring up some cliches here, folks, and bear with me while I do this. So, T'Challa, Black Panther from Marvel, Blade. Take those two characters and say maybe 10 years down the line, they decide to resurrect them, but they race change them to a white person or Hispanic or Chinese. How many black people in the world will lose their shit about that miscasting?
Hey guys, it's Borza. Today I'm gonna walk inside KFC until I spot black people. Until I see a black person. Let's see how long it takes.
And the obvious joke that goes around is that Ryan Gosling will play Black Panther, except he will still be black. Well, in terms of the costume he will be, just not in the tonality of his skin. So I find that rather funny actually. And also you got to remember when J.K. Rowling was writing her very first book on Harry Potter, she lived in my neck of the woods, okay? And she was basing the characters of the Gryffindor house or the other house. I'm not a Harry Potter fan, so bear with me, but where she based her characters from was from the schools she went to as a kid, what she witnessed around her. So, and you do have diverse characters in the Harry Potter movies and in the books. So I would say that's a fair representation. It's accurate. Again, I was schooled before J.K. Rowling, and I could attest that what I've seen of the films, and I haven't watched them all, by the way, is exactly how my schooling was. So that's what she was basing it on. But I do feel this is like a J.R.R. Tolkien attack, except this time it's J.K. Rowling, because remember, he was attacked, or later on, as the years have gone by, since the Peter Jackson original trilogy, about why he would write such a Caucasian narrative based on medieval folklore, right? How dare he do that? And again, it's kind of going full circle again now, where J.K. Rowling appears to be attacked for the very same reason. And I do find it absolutely hysterical that people will go on this diatribe rhetoric about why J.K. Rowling is a trans rights supporter, but then only supports the scientific fact there's only 2 genders in the world, then gets cancelled for it, right? So how dare she do that? So I find it quite hypocritical from the fans that loved her once, even their own cast members, like Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson, who does nothing these days except who probably should actually join Greta Thunberg on a protest march against Palestine, or the new trending world cause that gets you bonus points. So I really do wonder in that instance. There was something else that was coming to my mind at the moment, and I was thinking about it today, and now it's completely eluded me about this conversation. But honestly, I think the usual suspects that I do see making these type of videos, where they've like put the shocked expression, "Oh my God," and "How dare they do this?" Warner Brothers have chosen to do this. Okay, let them do damage control. When Papa Isidou goes on press conferences and people are going to ask him, "What's it like to play Severus Snape?" And I know what I was going to say now. So if you go back to the year 2000, sat with a friend of mine, well, he's no longer my friend, and we're watching a Sherlock Holmes film on the BBC. I think it was The Hound of the Baskervilles, where you had a South African guy playing Sherlock Holmes, or it might have been Watson. And my friend said to me at the time, "You know what I would like to see? Larry Fishburne play Sherlock Holmes." And I never turned to him and went, "Oh, by the way, that can't happen, he's a black dude." No, because I knew where he's coming from. If you had an American interpretation of Sherlock Holmes, then you get an American actor to play him. But if Larry Fishburne could perfect an English accent, I could actually see that happening. I think he'd be phenomenal. But the reason why I say the year 2000, because if you mentioned that then, nobody would actually think you were crazy. It'd be like, "Oh yeah," because the notion is an actor can step into a role and play it to the best of his or her ability. But now, when you see this ludicrous casting, and I think it's actually hilarious, more than anything else, it is really quite farcical, I think is probably the better phrase, because everybody rolls their eyes at the situation. It's like the Joseph Fares game at the moment, Split Fiction, where you've got 2 female leads based on his daughters apparently, and everybody says, "Oh my God, the game is woke, it's woke." But I think the reason why it's considered that, and I've seen bits of it, I mean, the thing that bugs me about that game is that it's a permanent co-op experience. You can't play by yourself as opposed to with yourself, because that would be a very odd game altogether. But quite simply, people call that woke, and yes, the female designs are very mid. It's 2 women. It's released just before International Women's Day, which is today. So yeah, you can take your pot shots at that, but it looks like a fun game. But then again, when you get 2 women in a game, or a female character, doesn't automatically make it woke. You saw The Medium, right, from the people that gave you the Silent Hill 2 remake last year, Team Boober. I wouldn't call it a woke game. It's just 2 females in separate universes trying to converge on the same alignment. But I gotta say, folks, this is a truly funny story. And Papa Isidou, if you're watching this video, mate, just take some advice from Idris Elba. The reason why he was never offered Bond, or maybe thought about it, because he himself has said, "Imagine me being James Bond, the press would have a field day. When it comes to interviews and press tours, what's it like to be the first black man to play James Bond instead of what's it like to be James Bond? Because you just can't remove the colour from the actual vision of the character. So Severus Snape, Harry Potter, this situation, it's going to be interesting, because when that cauldron starts getting more steamier and steamier, I wonder what the meltdown is going to be like. You're going to get one half of the media defending this, and then you're going to get other people out there just dropping their TikTok videos saying this is going to be the worst decision ever. I find it absolutely hilarious. Every time I hear about a race swap now, I roll my eyes and I make a video about it, and I say, good luck to the company that's instigating this, because it's going to backfire against them and no one's going to give three shits to the wind when it's all done and dusted. Although I have a funny feeling that this Harry Potter series will be an immense success and you'll probably get a maximum of 3 seasons out of it. But if you were me, folks, and if I were you, make sure you hit this video, make sure you hit the like button, and if I were you and if you were me, you should definitely return for the next video.
I will take them one at a time. And we have question back row. There we go.
Thank you for that. You can have any questions you like answered.
Zach, go ahead.
Don't let your dreams be dreams. Dream of me. I'll make your dreams come true. Everything's possible with me.